Hello guys, hope everyone is doing good today. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about the FurMark and what FurMark actually did to my power supply. So if you remember, a while back I made a video on the RTX 4070 Ti, and I used the 4070 Ti actually I used FurMark to test that. So originally, let me go to that video actually. Originally, I had an older power supply. It was a Corsair Rmx 1050 amps, 1050 watts. And the power supply was working fine, but when I switched from RTX 2080 to RTX 4070 Ti, the HX 1050, being about 8 years old, was making a little bit of coil whine. It was the power supply because I removed it from the case completely, let it run outside, listen carefully, so it was a barely hearable coil whine on the 8 years old Corsair HX 1050. So what I did, I've removed it and went ahead and got an Rmx 1000, a Corsair 2 Rmx Series. I'm gonna make a video on those, the differences between Rmx and HX later. And after installing the power supply, right, it was working perfectly fine. Been using it for like a week or two, and one day I had some free time, and I said, okay, let's do a test. There was no coil whine whatsoever on the power supply while playing games. No coil whine under like idle conditions, nothing was fine. So I decided, okay, let's run the FurMark, stress the video card a little bit, see what's gonna happen. And that was actually my mistake. After doing that, actually, after what happened, I removed the FurMark from my computer. I'm not using that again. It's meant to stress the computer beyond the limits, probably create a condition for overclocking mostly. If you're not planning to do any overclocking, I don't think it's worth the risk to do that. So this will happen. So FurMark was there. I've opened it, right? I'm not gonna do this again because I've uninstalled it and I don't want to mess up my computer. So went ahead and pressed the GPU stress test. All right, here. I'm gonna run the kind of the same. So I pressed the GPU stress test there. Originally it didn't work for some reason. The app hanged and nothing happened. Right? On the original video, something like that happened again, and I used the preset, and the benchmark went with no problems. Right? This time I used the GPU stress instead of choosing a preset here, and the app kind of like hanged in there. It was doing nothing, and then it closed. I opened it again, tried it again, and it closed again. I restarted the computer, opened the app again, right, and I clicked the GPU stress test, like this button right here. Well, guess what? This time worked. So the same as a normal one, the standard message popped up on the screen, and smart thing will be probably to stop there, but I said, well, let's go ahead. So after hitting the GPU stress test, in this case, this popped up over here and basically says, caution, this is a GPU intensive application and you may experience some instability or system shutdown. Right, do not do the burn test at your own risk. Possible causes of instability: too high overclocking settings, so I didn't have any overclocking on the GPU. Insufficient PSU power supply unit. Well, it was a brand new Rmx 1000 watts, right? So should be more than enough power. Problems with the cooler on the GPU or VRM, nothing like that there either. It's a brand new cooler, and I recently upgraded to a Z790 Aorus, so everything was fine there. So I went ahead and clicked that button. So as soon as I clicked that button, it was a loud click from the case, and my computer basically instantly shut off. All right, I pressed the button to restart it. Nothing happened. What happened afterwards? I had to unplug actually completely the computer. I had to unplug it, let it stay for like 5 minutes, plugged it back in, pressed the button, and the computer started. We're talking about less than a minute after. I started hearing a loud buzzing noise coming from the computer, and I'm gonna play that for you in a sec. I'm gonna show you that video in a sec, and that will not go away. So what I did, basically what happened, probably FurMark triggered some kind of triggered our power supply protection that damaged actually the power supply, maybe asked for too much current, considering the power supply it's 1000 watt. Should be more than enough current. Maybe the FurMark asked for way more than that. My biggest concern, I hope it didn't actually damage my motherboard or damage the GPU. So that's my only concern, basically. So I hope that's not the case. Looks like after doing all the testing, again, removing the power supply from the computer, listening to it carefully, I mean, don't even need to remove it because the noise is pretty crazy. I'll play the video for you so you can hear it too. And after replacing actually the power supply, the noise, good thing, I was about a couple of weeks old, so I was still in the return window, and I went ahead and returned it, got another one, and the other one works perfectly fine, no noise whatsoever. But I didn't do any FurMark test on it, and I'm not planning to do any either, because this is $200 power supply, so I don't know what's gonna happen again. Don't want to mess up with $200. So I'm gonna play basically the videos after this for you. One, it's the one right after the crash happened, and the other one it's right after I've replaced the power supply with the brand new one. So be careful, guys. Run these benchmarks at your own risk. They're designed to get your computer over the limits. So what's gonna happen? It's basically gonna happen. All right, do it at your own risk. I've learned my lesson, so I'm not gonna do it again. So let's go to those videos now. So guys, this is what happened. Upon running the FurMark, my computer suddenly shut down with a loud clicking noise. So I was able to restart it after unplugging the power, and it's been running like just started. So let's see. And that's the crazy noise that's coming from the PSU right here. It's a crazy coil whine that I will have to do something about it. So I was running FurMark, sudden shutdown with a crazy noise, crazy click, and then this happened. So guys, I was able to diagnose the stuff. It was the power supply. So it looks like what FurMark did, triggered an overcurrent protection in the power supply and caused it to basically go bad. I did all the testing, removed the power supply out of the case, running it out, so the sound, the crazy buzzing was coming from the power supply. I ended up actually replacing the power supply, and right now, as you hear, everything is running quietly. So it looks like that FurMark messed up my power supply. Some are saying it's not supposed to. Some are saying that the FurMark actually, if there are problems with the power supply, it kind of shows them right away. The power supply was fairly new. It was like what, 3 weeks or so. So I was able actually to replace it. I'm not doing any more FurMark tests on this PC. Don't wanna mess it up again. So yeah, this is what happened. Take care.